Okay, recording. I, I don't know whether to make this video or not, but it was an interesting thing I came across the other day. I watched a guy, a channel called SV Seeker. This guy's down in Tulsa, and he's building a boat in his backyard. It's a great channel. Really, tons of good content, and it's just a really good channel. I really enjoy watching him. But he did this thing, right? He uh, he did a prank on his channel. So, I mean, I haven't watched all. I've never sat and watched all of his videos, but I've seen quite a few of them, and I watch on a regular basis. But anyway, he did this prank in which he faked himself being seriously injured, um, and it got a lot of people upset. A lot of his viewers were upset about this, and rightly so. Um, it, when you put yourself there, when you put yourself out into the public, you've got to realize that people are going to get attached to you, you know, um, whether you like it or not, or whether that's your intention or not. If you put yourself out there, people will get attached to you, especially if you're a nice guy like Doug is. So he did this prank, and I believe it went on for a day. I didn't see the first part of it. I just saw in fact, what they did is they ran the video that I saw. They ran the start of the prank again with the explosion, which was a pretty good explosion, and the guy he's got helping him, who's an actor, running up the boat, and then anyway, it cuts to the inside, and he explains you've been pranked, which that really wasn't too bad. I can't imagine. I didn't even bother watching the start of it. The pre video that got everybody upset in the first place, because he carried this prank on, I think, for a day, or it wasn't just a video. It wasn't just one video and then they said at the end you've been pranked. They carried it on for a day or two, I think. So anyway, but it was interesting because it got me thinking about what really the purpose of a prank is. Okay, because I got to think about it. I thought, if you're the one being pranked, more often than not, you're not going to find it funny. You just are not. And even if, after all said and done, and the pranker comes clean and ha ha ha, and you might have a little bit of a laugh about it afterwards, but there may be a deep kind of, well, that just wasn't that funny. You laugh it off, and I think most people would laugh it off, because what else can you do? Like to sit and stew about it. But I honestly don't think it's actually that funny, pranking people. And they said that, I've never seen any of his other prank videos, okay, but they say that he says that he's done prank videos before on his channel, so the people should expect that, I guess, is the response to that. But I thought it was interesting because it really did get me thinking about what the purpose of a prank is and what type of a person would do a prank. Because I think the person that's being pranked really doesn't find it funny. I mean, ha ha afterwards, but they really don't find it funny. So that leaves us with the people that are doing the pranking. Now, the small group that are doing the pranking, they may be finding it funny and enjoyable to set up the prank and do the prank, But what does it deep down subconsciously say about people, And the message that you take away from somebody that's pranking somebody else is that I am superior to you. I have superior intellect. I'm able to deceive you. And this is why I find it so interesting, because things that I'm looking into at the minute are things like reality and the way the whole system works. And if you start looking at certain things like moon landings and stuff like that, there is a chance that some of this stuff is faked. And it's like, what is the real purpose behind that? And it's all about power. It's all about stating your power over other people. So the pranker is basically demonstrating his power, his magic. They'd say magical powers, but it's really what it is. His power over somebody else, in order to deceive them. This deception. This is the power that a magician has. There's some kind of trip to being able to control and deceive somebody else's, control somebody else's thoughts and deceive them. There's some kind of power transfer there. It somehow builds up the person that's doing that. It gives them that kind of trip. I mean, I've seen stuff on old British TV, where you have the fake traffic warden that comes along, and somebody's parked there, and while they're gone shopping, he's pulled out a no parking sign, and he's there writing a ticket when they get back, and they get all irate, and then 5 minutes later he says, "Oh, I was just having you on," and to a certain extent that can be quite funny. But then when you watch pranks like you've got somebody running down the street with a damn knife after a bunch of other people, where do you draw the line with what's funny and what's, there's a fine line between acceptable and not acceptable. And unfortunately, I think old Dougie Boy may have crossed the line on this one, because he got a lot of people upset, and it wasn't just the deception, because there's a lot of people that watch his channel, and when you put yourself out there, you've got to realize that people get into, your sort of life, and they start, they start caring for you and stuff. I mean, sit down and watch a film where the characters are very strong and powerful, and they have a scene where somebody dies, and people are bawling about it. They know it's not real, but they get caught up with their emotions in it. And I think, it's one thing if you're putting out fiction, but when you're like just a regular old, builder channel, it kind of, you kind of cross the line there a bit, don't you? I don't know. It's his channel. He can do what the bloody hell he likes, can't he? I mean, it's up to him. And we all got that choice, and we don't have to watch anything. And I think that's the other thing that pissed everybody off, was he come out and said, "Look, if you didn't get it or whatever, go take a jump. I don't need you." And unfortunately, that's kind of the part that upset me a little bit, actually, was, people subscribe to him, and he's putting out a service there. It's a good channel, but those people subscribing actually help him with his mission of building this boat and getting it on the water and doing research and stuff with it, which is a valid thing to do. It's a very commendable project. And these small, just the small people that subscribe actually help to build that channel. And to turn around and dismiss people like that was, I thought, kind of arrogant, actually. But again, it's his channel; he can do what he wants, at the end of the day. But it was interesting because it did make me think about what the purpose of a prank is. And really, is there really any purpose to a prank? Is it really that? I mean, you can do other funny stuff, But it got me thinking about a prank, and it's really about having control and power over somebody else, or drawing their power, you know, uh, from the naive, Unfortunately, we're all naive, aren't we? Um, so we're all in that boat, and it's all about taking power away from those kind of people. Whether you think that's true or not, whether you think, oh, I was just having a laugh, you're reading too much into it. But what was interesting was they uh, they just did an apology video, and the actor guy Peter came on, and he did a he did most of the talking. Let's put it that way. And what was interesting was not only well, in part of his apology, he goes on about, look, I tried to make it obvious, that it was a prank. I put loads of breadcrumbs in there, and I thought, people would be able to get that it was a prank. Again, this is again showing, this is saying, look, I put clues in there as well. You're so stupid you couldn't even figure that out, Of course, I didn't see the whole prank up front. The only bit that I saw looked pretty convincing, and there weren't any breadcrumbs in the little clip that I saw before they came out with the prank, But for the people that, so I can't really comment on what the breadcrumbs were. But again, it's saying, look, if you didn't get the breadcrumbs, you're bloody stupid, And again, it's the apology is what apology there, Anyway, I thought it was interesting, and if you think like I do, then you'll start to realize, especially if you get into looking at legal matters, the big prank that's been pulled on everybody, and it really is a big prank. The whole legal system is a big prank, okay, and the basis of that prank is getting you to believe that you're something you're not, okay. And I don't really want to go into it too much because I've got other videos on this, but it was just so interesting. It's funny the way reality chucks stuff up in your face to see, and to become more clear about the way things work. Anyway, if you're watching this one, Doug, good luck to you, mate. Love the channel. Like it was prank gone wrong though. Anyway, for everybody else, I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.